Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Happy Thursday and welcome to Talk About It Thursday. I am Sharika Sanders and I have an awesome, as I always say, but not only awesome today, but also inspiring, which I absolutely love. Dr. Mary Ritz, president of Almenta International, here to spread her wealth of knowledge with us today. Please, Dr. Mary, tell us who you are and what you do.
Sharika, thank you so much for having me on your podcast. What a pleasure it is. All right. So I own, as you introduced me, I am the president of this company called Almenta International. Almenta International means an inspired woman. So I focus on what I call customer centricity transformation. This is where organizations focus on their customers, that 20%, the most valuable customers. And then we help them transform from embracing that customer and drawing value for the organization and for the customer themselves. With that, I add leadership development and team development. So in other words, my work is customer centricity, but it touches on different nuances of the organization. Then how do I engage organizations or my clients? It's either we are doing a strategy for customer centricity, we're doing training, we're doing speaking engagements, or organizational development as a whole.
That's number one. I love that you have that as customer centric and that you're not just focusing on a portion of the business, and so I appreciate how you're considering all the parts and not just this is the one area and then hopefully it'll impact the other areas. But no, it's in order to impact all the areas, let's touch all the areas. And so thank you for that. And like I said, the name fits, rightly so, very inspiring. I'm about becoming better.
Yes.
And so I love that. And so to ask the $1 million question of the day,
Yeah.
what is it that you know that we should know?
What a question. And you've alluded to some of it already. So as I was thinking about our interview and our conversation together, when you ask me, what is it that I know that other people should know? What I know, a lot of people know. The difference is what I know is the scope and the depth of it. So what I know is that we are all in business because of the customer. We are solving for the customer. That's why Amazon exists. That's why your organization exists. That's why I exist. But what I have realized is that though people understand that, when they do deliver, let's say customer service or customer experience, it's really delivered according to their internal capabilities. So it's delivered under the lenses of what I call a product-centric organization that is really obsessed about its own brand, its own innovation, and its own creativity. Therefore, though they deliver on customer service and customer centricity and customer experience, they're not consistent. Because these are organizations that will say, oh, we've got limitations. We cannot do that because our systems cannot allow us to do that. Therefore, my understanding and what I bring to the market and to the audience is for people to appreciate the other element, which is what I call the customer-centric element. In that, we have different nuances. You talked about it, Sharika. It's a system that is entirely connected. Yes, we are in business because we are obsessed about our customers. What I know is that all customers are not of equal value. That's customer centricity. Therefore, first, we understand that 20% of our customers bring 80% of the business value. And in that, it also means that 20%, though they bring the value, is not only financial benefit. They are actually our strategic partner. So they understand that they are our strategic partner, they innovate with us, they are advocates, so to speak. So there's the first element of what I know that a lot of people think. Therefore, they think every customer is equal. Every customer is the same. But customer-centric organizations tap into that value because they understand the difference. But they also understand that though they focus on the 20%, they don't neglect the 80%. They work relentlessly to convert the 80% to increase the 20%. So that's one thing. Then these customer-centric organizations think of business from a systemic perspective, the interconnectedness of an organization. What I get surprised about, even in 2024, a lot of organizations are solving problems in isolation. It's not integrated. So sometimes I'm invited to do an isolated leadership intervention. It's great and fine. But if we really understand the system, we see that it's not a leadership issue only. There are other things that are related to that. Therefore, in a customer-centric organization, these organizations ask, before we make a decision, first, how does it impact the customer, especially the 20%? Then, how does it affect HR? How does it affect processes and systems? And by the way you're in it, Sherika, you talk about accounting and finance. How are we even going to measure? Are we only going to measure on financial or non-financial metrics? So these are things that I know and that I bring to the organization. I therefore encourage my customers, my clients, to look at things holistically from a systemic perspective, not in isolation. Maybe let me pause there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So many things you've said, so many gems that you've said. One, acknowledging that there are many things that we all know, kind of, sort of, but it is your level of depth, your level of experience, your own personal experiences, even, education, all of these different things that determine to what level that you're able to speak on certain things and an expert in whatever field you're in. And talking about the internal capabilities and saying that, you can only do what you're able to do. And once you recognize where your limits are, then that's where you can, and the quicker you recognize it, even more so, is when you're able to pick up the phone, send that email, I don't know, carrier pigeon, whatever it is, to call a friend, phone a friend, to reach out to that person on LinkedIn, whatever it is, to say, hey, can we have a conversation? I am able to do to this limit, and I know I need so much more. My business needs so much more. And it's really reaching out and asking for that help. Because when you do that, you're not only growing yourself, but you're also growing your business. You're having a positive impact on your business. You're having a positive impact if you have a team, on your team members, to allow them to see, okay, it's okay for me to ask for help. It's okay for me to, volunteer to help my neighbor, so to speak. Any of those things that will build the brand as a whole. And even more so, speaking on, and also just thinking about your business as a whole, holistically, making sure that all parts are included, because oftentimes, and we see this, and I'm talking to you and those of you in corporate America and the decision-making positions, as well as entrepreneurs who are growing your business, that you want to think about not just the bottom line when you're making decisions. Because typically when you think about just that one piece, you end up impacting other areas negatively. And then you either lose headcount, you lose customers, you lose your time, your own personal time, because now you're in a reactive state and you're trying to fix and correct things. So thank you for sharing those things with us. And I also believe there's some additional gems that and possibly even events that you may want to share with us as well.
Yes, sure. Yeah. So in terms of growth continues, I'm launching two new services, new ways of engaging. The first one, we're actually going to be engaging launching it very, very soon with a colleague of mine, Wayne Houston of Learning Curve Consulting. We are going to be doing a Friday coffee talk. And we are going to be talking about customer centricity transformation, leadership development, and culture development. That's an exclusive club, so to speak, is by invitation only. Our target audience would be your senior leaders, your middle managers, your middle leaders, anybody with a team, so to speak. We are going to be talking about trends that are happening in the customer centricity area and also in the leadership, and how then do we take all these findings to move our organizations forward, again, in a sustainable way. The second one is what another program that I'm doing with the same friend is called the Plunge. The Plunge is really focused on that entry-level leaders. It's about a 6 to 12 months program, depending on what you want. It's very customized. We talk about leadership, self-awareness, but again, there's a component of customer centricity and a transformational culture altogether. So if anybody's interested, they can contact me for those details.
And I will definitely make sure that your contact information is included. So please check out the comments. The contact, Dr. Mary's contact information will be included there. Friday coffee exclusive. And to me, that means that we're here to talk about business. So this is not the place to come and try to sell your business. This is not the place to come. And it sounds like a safe space, not where you'll be poached, for example. I appreciate your being here with us today and sharing your knowledge with us and the holistic view of how we deal with our business as entrepreneurs, our business as management, senior level executives. It's all intertwined. It's honestly all intertwined. And once we're able to accept that and acknowledge that, we can go a lot further. Again, I appreciate your time. I'll make sure your contact information is included. Not the link, it's an exclusive event. I'll have the contact information for Dr. Mary, where you can reach out and ask for more information about Friday Coffee. Any last words of wisdom for us?
Oh, yes. Thanks a lot again, Sharika, for having me. We are living in a very competitive market right now. To all businesses, whether you're a small business owner, a corporate, and even if you're a non-profit organization, we are living in a world where you're competing at a global level now, all right? For you to differentiate yourself, for you to say, I do this thing uniquely, it's very different. It's very difficult for you to claim that because everybody's in everybody's business. Technology has put us more together. So the question that we ask business owners, that I also ask myself, is how do I continue to differentiate myself? How do I continue to think differently, not in a traditional way? Again, I go back to customer centricity. We only touched the corner of the iceberg here, the gem and the benefits that are ingrained in the customer centricity philosophy. I'm going to ask you to lean into it. That's your differentiator. Most organizations are product-centric, about 90. That's where we make product, sell product, market product, and repeat. So the customer-centric, that's where the value is if we learn to take the holistic business. You may say it sounds daunting. My first question that I'm going to ask you and to pose you is, could you start by really defining why you're in business? Then ask yourself, who is my ideal target audience? How best can I service them in a holistic way? So we're no longer talking about maximizing profits for ourselves, but we're talking about impacting the customer, impacting our community, impacting the environment. I can go on. So that's my place. I'm going to challenge you and leave you with that.
What is your why? And with that, thank you again, Dr. Mary, for your insight. Thank you all for your time. This is another great, most informative episode of Talk About It Thursday, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you, Sharika.